at you. Hello, we're Big and Rich. We're just happy to be here to interview y'all today at Cat Country.
We want to ask you, Brian.
Oh, go ahead.
What made you want to get into radio in the
Sure.
first place? I mean, of a talented man like yourself, you could do basically anything you want with that kind of charisma, that kind of voice. What made you want to step into country radio?
Clearly, you have not listened to the show. I don't know. Radio for me, it was the kind of thing, and I did TV writing for a while.
We really don't give a shit. Ask us.
Okay.
I'm
Perfect.
kidding.
That's what I want to do too.
That's great.
No, I'm going to
You were a
start.
TV guy?
I was a TV writing guy, and I went to Hollywood, and I got out
Like
there.
a comedy writer or
Comedy
a drama
writer.
writer?
I worked with Phil Hartman.
Oh my God,
ended up-
really?
Yeah, he was awesome. And
Holy cow.
through him, then I got to get other jobs where I worked with like Will Ferrell and Ben Stiller. It was crazy.
Dude.
It was great.
Did you work on Will Ferrell's skit when he did Harry Carey? Because that's my all-time favorite.
I worked with Will Ferrell on the MTV Movie Awards in 2003, and we did this like
Say hello to
Matrix.
Brian, everybody.
It's like a
What's
Matrix.
going
kind
on?
of-
Brian.
But the thing that I didn't like about it is, and I don't know if you've ever run into this with labels and things, there was such a lack of creative control.
No.
Wait a second. We love everybody. Everybody.
Record labels let you do whatever you want, whenever you want.
Yep.
And
Everybody knows that.
Especially if you're making a million. What do you want to do?
entertain the masses, my friend. And I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
So you want to be a priest.
Perfect. Guys, I want to start.
Entertain the masses right here
That was
today.
good, right? Come on, guys. I'm
Country.
on my game right now. Shit,
I want to say this.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, I'm starting the interview.
Is it okay? Is it okay if the lady
I think it'd be
gets a
great
chance
if
to
a
ask
priestess
a
walked up and
question?
said,
Yeah,
I'm
go
just
right
here to
ahead.
entertain.
Or do you just have beautiful ladies sitting beside you all the time just as part of your act?
She's got cold and allergies today, so she's afraid that the
said
voice is going to
he
skid
just
out.
wants
You don't
to-
wanna-
in his career, he just wants
Hey,
to
we've got to
entertain the
sing
masses.
tonight.
That's
No
how
worries,
we preach.
baby.
Am I gonna do the backup for you? You want me on stage with you?
It's going up my nose.
Well, the main thing that we wanted to say to you guys is thank you for coming back after the snowball was canceled in February, after the worst winter maybe we've ever seen. And we were like, oh no, oh my God, they're probably not going to come back and do this. And did I say thank you again?
That was a storm of all ages, man. That was
Crazy.
off the charts crazy.
We're
Good
glad to be
gig.
back. We were looking forward to that gig, and it's not every day we get up here to play, with you guys. So I can tell you that some of our fans are still knocking on the door right now.
Yeah.
It was cool. I think we just did one of the longest meet and greets of the entire year. There were so
Really?
many fans that were here that
They
wanted to
love
say
you up
hello
here,
to us.
man.
Makes us
There's
feel great.
nothing better than being out here, continuing to put new music out, and seeing fans lined up out the door.
Having a
that
big
wanna
and rich
see us.
time.
Having a big and rich time, brothers and sisters.
And here's why I think people love you guys. There is definitely a big and rich sound. When you hear a big and rich song, right away you're like, it's big and rich. Is that by design, or does that just happen naturally?
We have worked with some nuclear physicists that had put together the design of what we thought could make the most magnificent voicing that had ever been heard. There was a data analysis done. There have been technology apps built on it now.
Well, and with all the extra voices that he hears in his head, it really sounds more like a choir. So it's great. Just go with what he's saying.
Evidently, I think it was
Follow
just a God-given thing, and definitely a really neat thing. The first time that John and I ever hooked up to write a song together, we were both, we'd both been the singers in bands, and so when we sung together, it was like just find something you put into it that's great, and all of a sudden these voices blended. We're going, who's singing lead on this?
It was two lead singers, so
Yeah.
and he's lower, I'm higher, so we're coming at this song. I remember the first song, we're sitting there writing it, and we said we finished writing it, and in Nashville they call making it a work tape. So you got to put it down on something so you can have it to go record it or play it for somebody. And we're doing the work tape, and we finished it, and I looked at Kenny and I went, "That sounded cool, didn't it?" And he went, "Yeah." And I said, "Were you singing lead or was I singing lead?" He said, "I thought I was." I said, "Well, I thought I was." And it's always been that way. Even like if you look
John
at
still thinks he's singing lead, but it's me.
We won't tell them.
Yeah, we know.
if you look at songs like Look at You, or single Look at You, you can hear where he's doing stuff or he's flipping in. I've had people, fans come up and say, "It's so cool how you're harmonizing with Kenny," or some people say, "It's so cool how Kenny's harmonizing with you." It's never been something that we ever planned to do. It's just like he said, God just put it on you and said, these two guys are going to get together and they're going to sound like that, and we're having a great time spending our lives doing it.
Sometimes it's different every time we sing the same song.
Yeah, we
together.
don't really ever sing the same song identically the same way. Ever.
Yeah, you'll hear, two voices come together and make three,
We
four
didn't go to the
sometimes.
school of redundancy school.
I've got to say, every wedding, party, or mitzvah, whatever it is, Save a Horse Ride a Cowboy is always played. And even people who don't like country, which I don't know what's wrong with them, everyone knows the words. The crowd just always erupts when that song comes on and everyone sings along.
We're pretty sure Save a Horse Ride a Cowboy started a baby boom.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
might
no
have.
real data for that.
Yeah.
We're
Amongst
pretty
horses
sure.
and cowboys.
But tonight, a couple walked through and they told me that they're getting married a year from tomorrow. They're getting married and their song is Lost in This Moment with You.
Oh, yeah.
But that they met in a bar somewhere around here to Save a Horse Ride a Cowboy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I think that's how you know your music's done something bigger than just be a hit song or whatever. They become little bookmarks for people, and that's the ultimate
lady
compliment.
turned around in the meet and greet line tonight, and she turns around her back to everybody else and looks at John and I and says, "Y'all's music got me through some pretty tough stuff in my life."
That's nice.
And she'd been through cancer, and I'm
Breast cancer.
Yeah, through breast cancer, and she said she remembers just laying in bed, just feeling sick on chemo, and she'd hear her husband had cranked up Save a Horse Ride a Cowboy, out in the living room, and it said it was just the energy would get her up and get her out there, and it just got her back to living. So sometimes I guess we just got to get back to living, and that's one of the most important things for us when we get to come to places like this and play live, is just to get back to living.
I'm sure that kind of feedback never gets old. And the other thing about the whole Big and Rich experience is you guys just always seem to have so much fun, no matter where you are,
Oh hell!
what you're doing.
No.
No. Is he kidding us?
If we could tell you 10% of what we've done for fun, so we're not going to do that. But I can tell you.
But we will
it's a-
salute you. Here's to all the
All
fun.
right.
Here's to all the fun we can possibly have in the
Can
world.
I get a hell yeah?
Hell
the fuel for that
yeah.
fun, right?
Get
yeah.
it sideways.
Well, we're not one to go around spread rumors. No,
Hey.
we're just not the gossiping kind.
Well, I wanted to ask you this question too, because we
I
have.
think we should be the new host of the brand new Hee Haw. You had
Oh,
Buck,
nice.
you had Buck and Roy, that was a BNR,
How?
and Big and Rich, the new BNR of Hee Haw. Tell me that's not a badass idea.
Oh.
You need a writer for the show.
How y'all
right there.
doing? I'm a picking.
I'm a grinning.
I mean, who's not gonna watch that, right? We've
What
got
about
to
an
do
award
this.
show?
We have to
Yeah.
make this happen.
Would you start a campaign for us?
Seriously?
Please.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
All
you
right.
could start a whole new
Tell
award
me,
show.
I'll tell you
yeah?
what. After the CMTs and Erin Andrews, we're ready for Big and Rich to host.
Oh,
Oh,
I can
he
say
said
it.
here.
I can say
He
it.
said it here on Cat Country.
he said it. Put it down. Sorry, Aaron, but you're right. I mean,
Next year, you guys.
Well, the other thing I'm wondering too is because we've had this conversation, when you're trying to entertain people and you're trying to have fun all the time, sometimes there are things going on in your personal life that might be distracting, and you really earn your money when you have to make it look like you're having fun. with
like
other things
sometimes
you're
I'm
doing.
on stage, to your point, and I'm wondering, was that possum really dead in the driveway? Or is he going to be waiting on me when I come home? These things are crossing my mind as I'm in the middle of
I'm thinking,
the 8th
did
of
I
November. It's like,
empty all of the water out of any lids in the yard? Because if not, mosquitoes might be nesting.
It's a tough life.
things that
Yeah.
matter.
I don't know how
It's
you
a tough
guys.
life.
Dot
you guys
com.
do it.
Hey, all of us will always have things going on that are tough in our lives, man. But as Big and Rich, I think one of the greatest things that John and I get to do, along with writing songs, is then being able to perform them and being the joy bringers. That I know in our world, in my world, there's a lot of people that'll always lift me out of that. When that kind of stuff's going on in your life, and it's inevitable. It's going to happen to all of us.
Yeah,
But-
peaks and
and when you
valleys.
come to a Big and Rich show, we're going to have a Big and Rich time.
All the
Straight up.
problems melt away.
All the problems.
That's
melt
the
away.
point.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Now, I have to say that Amanda is a huge reality TV fan, so
here we
Celebrity
go.
Apprentice, here it
Here
comes.
we go.
2850.
2850.
Finally, let's
Yeah.
focus on something that can make a difference here tonight, Amanda.
I mean, I'm sure no one's ever asked you about being on Celebrity Apprentice
Hey,
before,
fire away.
right?
Fire away.
No, I just want to know in general what that experience was like, who you still talk to, if anyone from the show, things like that.
Amanda, let me tell you, it was fantastic.
Okay.
It's great.
Was it really?
John Rich is a champion, okay?
That's right.
He was exactly what you think it would be. I saw that he just announced yesterday he's running for president, and he went on for an hour just eviscerating the entire planet, and I mean, that's kind of how he is in real life. I mean, there's really no different version of him than I've ever seen, which is a pretty good quality about somebody. Whether you agree with him or not, you go, well, you always know you're going to get that when you get Donald Trump. But he was very kind to me, let me be on the show. The goal was, I was talking to Kenny, I said, I think I'm going to do the show. He said, yeah. I said, yeah, I want to do the show. I'm going to see if I can raise $1 million for the kids at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Because nobody had gotten near $1 million. I think Piers Morgan did 450, which is a lot of money too, but nobody hit 7 figures. And so we called everybody. Kenny helped me. We called everybody we knew, from Bon Jovi to my next door neighbor, literally, to donate money to that cause. And when it was over, it was $1.4 million.
Wow.
And wound up winning the show and everything.
Well
So
done.
it was a pretty crazy experience. I mean, when you have to separate Meatloaf and Gary Busey from killing each other over finger paints, we've reached a new level of crazy, right? You saw that episode, the Meatloaf meltdown. It's
happens,
folklore.
right?
Yeah, and John was so on point during that entire episode that something else occurred that no one could ever even imagine, nor would they believe if I told you. But John didn't drink for an entire month.
Oh my God!
He's like,
right.
if I'm gonna win this, I've got to be sharp, on point, no edge.
That's right.
Did you
Well,
have
If that's the secret to success, I'm screwed.
That right there is sacrifice, brothers and sisters. That's sacrifice.
A little inside info, since you're a fan of the show. So every morning at 6:30, somebody would knock on your door, and you better be ready, right? So you open up, they wire you up, put the mics on you, cameras on you at 6:30. The cameras are off of you every night at 11:30.
Oh wow.
And I did that 58 out of 60 days. I mean, I'm telling you, it is.
Correction,
so-
I said 30 days. That'd be 60 days. Not drinking.
See, he was still drinking the whole time.
Hold your cups in the air, brothers and sisters.
drinking for
Hell,
two.
get a hell yeah to that.
That's why we're catching
Yeah.
up. We're still catching up. But so the same guy, Mark Burnett, who does Survivor and all this,
Yeah.
he's
Shark
the guy
Tank.
that does
Yeah.
Apprentice. So he goes at it the same way to try to make people crack up. They don't feed you, they don't let you sleep, all that kind of stuff.
wow.
So it's really as crazy as that show is, it really is a test of who's there for their charity and who's there just to be on TV.
Right.
You know? But I really appreciate the opportunity to be on it.
We have to ask, since you had so much exposure to the Donald, would he ever have your vote for president?
Well, I got to say, I heard a lot of what he said yesterday announcing, and I think one thing that really bothers me in our country right now is political correctness has gotten to such a level that people can't even speak honestly anymore without being tagged as this or tagged as that. I don't think most Americans are bad people at all. But I think the way everybody gets tagged all the time, you go, well, everybody must be a bad guy then, I guess. And I'm really over that part of it. I mean, I think, like you go to country music, some of the greatest country music was like Johnny Cash. It was so direct and so politically incorrect, but that's what we love about it. Shot a man in Reno just to watch him die.
Right.
Not supposed to say that, but we all know the lyric, don't we?
Right.
And so to me, that is one thing I like about Trump. We got to see what all he's going to stand for and everything, but I do like the fact that he's got enough nerve just to say exactly what's on his mind.
He reminds me of a song title like Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy.
Yeah, you're not supposed to say that either, by the way.
When that song came out, I mean, we just got
It was
smashed. Smacked by
it was either we love it
people
or we
were
will
just.
never
This
play
is the
this song.
greatest thing I've ever heard.
But that's what you always want.
It never
And
went
now it's
top
our
10.
Sweet
Did
Home
you know,
Alabama.
Did you know the
It's a
song never went top 10?
I didn't know that.
Save a Horse never went top 10.
But as long as everybody believes it was the number one, like we do in our minds,
But this is the thing.
that's what matters.
We always say
brothers
this:
and
you
sisters.
either want them to love you or hate you. Indifference is.
Oh,
my God.
we just blew out the
Trump. That was Trump.
Sometimes really quality things just take a little while to sink in.
You want their attention no matter which direction it's
Right.
in. If
Yeah,
they hate you, they're passionate.
I've always said if somebody out there's not hating on you, you're not rocking hard enough.
Exactly.
That's what I truly believe that, But anybody that ever would say anything disparaging about Big and Rich, we always feel like we can win them over in the end.
Well, yeah, man, we love us.
Well, you certainly won us over tonight. You've always been
Thank
winning
you.
us over. And
Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys so much for doing
You
this,
bet.
and especially
You're
coming
awesome.
back. And believe me, it's a lot better to be here in June than February.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it feels great here. It's 100.
We're happy to be here, and we're even more excited to get to play.
Baby, when I look at you with them baby blues, they're cutting right through me.